So the writ has dropped, and you're in a provincial election campaign.
Yep.
Not your first time, really, because you probably helped your dad out when he was running, eh?
Yeah, I forget how many years ago that was, but I know John Tory, he ran.
Yeah.
Which confuses people a lot.
Yeah, well, that's my first question. Are you really a Liberal?
You know what, I don't think I've ever, same with my dad, I don't think we've ever pegged ourselves to be anything. I think it's when the opportunity arises and the right leader and the right opportunity comes around, because I know when he ran under John Tory, he was frustrated that he wasn't getting any support at the time from the Liberals for his municipality, and he was fighting. And John Tory was, I guess, what you call a red Tory. So it was kind of an easier way to follow. And then for this one here, for me, I've been asked to run for the Liberals for, I don't know how long has the Windmill Cafe been closed. Because I remember meeting with somebody from Toronto came down to talk to me. I remember going to the Windmill Cafe and having that conversation.
I miss that place.
Yeah, it was great, a great breakfast.
I used to go there for breakfast when I moved into town in 1986, and I was working at Amora Studios on Main Street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I was working at the Lippy office across the street, and so I ran across. We had a little bit of a lunch coffee, and they asked me to run, and I kind of was weighing, kind of saying, like, do they really want me, or do they just want me to help sell memberships? Is this what they're looking for, and who's the leader at the time? And it was kind of seeing, is it really me that they want, or is it just the membership selling? Because at that time, you know, the big thing to raise money for your campaign, right, and for the party was to sell memberships. So you needed a race at nomination time. So they don't do that anymore. But this time here, they asked me, and then I said, I wasn't quite sure about the leader. I said, well, who is he? Which I think a lot of people are still asking.
Yeah. I almost wrote that in my column today. Steve, the Who. I was going to give everybody nicknames, but it was getting stupid, so I took it out.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that because he's not a sitting member, right? So he doesn't have that same opportunity. But now, you know, the writ's dropped. He'll be in North Bay next week. But I remember asking, I said, I want to speak with him. He gave me we spent an hour on a Zoom call, just talking back and forth. I was pretty candid. I remember saying, look, I'm not telling you that I want to be a minister. I'm not saying you have to choose me, because I said we need to get to know each other. But I'm going to tell you that you'll see how hard I will work, that you'll want me by your side. And so it was just kind of this good conversation. I was asking him what was important to him. He asked me what was important to me. And when he told me about economic dignity, and I said, I didn't really know it at the time, what it really was. But that's where my team said, Tanya, look at these clips from him. Listen to what he's talking about. And when he talked about economic dignity and making sure that everyone had access to basic dental and the prescriptions and having parental leave, you know, having these pieces that basic dignity, right? And I was like, okay, this guy's piqued my interest, right? And then it was having the conversation where I didn't feel that he wasn't listening, because you know, over the years that we've had, 14 years I've been on council, and then all the years before that, when you talk to politicians, sometimes you don't feel heard. You walk in, you walk out, and you're saying, well, that was a waste of time. They didn't listen. You know, it just didn't sit well, right? And for him, I felt like he heard me. I felt like he listened. And then I know that there was a few other times where, like, he was coming to town for my nomination, and I thought he was just going to zip in, zip out. And he made sure that he had time here with me. So we spent time downtown. We walked and we talked to, you know, the Lippy office and True Self. We went down to see Michelle Trudeau. We walked down to Twigs. But he spent time with me ahead of time. And that's the piece that you know, again, he listened to me. He was, because I have different concerns. Like what I'm passionate about may not be exactly what he's passionate about. The reason why I wanted to run was mental health, addictions, crime. I'm seeing a huge change in the landscape. I've worked downtown for, I don't know, over 17 years, where I'd leave the Lippy office midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and no problems walking outside. You always have to watch, right? But now the landscape has changed significantly over the last 5 years. And I said, people they call you and they ask you for help, and I can't fix it on the municipal side. And I know that it's a bigger problem, and it's very broken, it's very complex, but I see it from where I work, and from the calls I get from constituents asking for help, and there is no help. The system is broken, and so that's what's pushing me.